and good afternoon from Ireland. My name is Ali O'Shea. A very warm welcome to all of you who are joining me. Today is my very first episode of Watering the Soul with Ali. I'm going to be reading you some spiritual books, and today I have the absolute privilege and pleasure of starting with the book Mind Power into the 21st Century by John Kehoe. So I'm going to share this video out before I get started, and I hope you guys will do the same. Please do say hi to me as you are joining and let me know that you're here. So I need to find the video first so I can share it out. Not sure what's going on here with the comments. Happy Saturday, Tony Doyle. How are you? Welcome. So I'm very excited to begin to read to you from the book Mind Power, as I said. I've recommended this book to so many people, and it's an incredible book by John Kehoe or John Kehoe. I'm not sure how you pronounce his surname. But I'm going to share the video out before I get started, and I'm going to wait for some people to hop on as well so that we can get started. Hello, Brian Cooley. Hello, hello. So once I get started, guys, I won't be saying hello and etc. As we move along. I'm just going to say that at the start because I'm going to repurpose this video for my YouTube channel as well. Of course, if you miss any of these, you can come and watch the replays. They'll always be here. Hi, Jenna Lee. Hello, Wisdom Tanya and Brian and Leona. Welcome, everybody. If you guys could share this video out, I would really appreciate that so that we can get this out further and wider as always. Hi, Joanne. Oh, thank you. I'm excited to share this with you guys, and I hope that you will enjoy it. It's an incredible book. We're going to be sitting here for about an hour today, and so we'll get as many chapters done as is possible within that time. Hello, Susan Barrett. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. So in the comments, please do let me know where you're joining me from. And I hope you're as excited as I am to listen to this incredible, incredible information by John Kehoe. Thank you so much, Tony Doyle. Just sharing out myself before I get started. It would really help if you guys would do the same. So we don't have any music today because I don't want it to get messed up. So I hope that you can hear me clearly, and well, let me know in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Thank you so much, John. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? I'm just sharing out. I'm almost finished. Upstate New York, USA. Fantastic, Jenna Lee. What's the weather like there at the moment? It's raining here in Ireland again. Okay, I've finished sharing it. Thank you so much. So I'm so excited to share this book with you. It's a #1 bestseller by John Kehoe. I'm going to read you the back of it first of all. So before I get started, like I said, I won't be commenting throughout the video as I'm reading. You feel free to comment and interact in the comment section as I read along, and I will of course see them afterwards, or at the end I can read them, because I'm going to repurpose this for my YouTube channel because I want to share it on there as well. So hello and welcome. Happy Saturday to you all. My name is Ali O'Shea. I'm an international law of attraction coach. I'm a healer. I'm a wealth coach. I'm an inspirational speaker. and I'm also an author myself. My own book is called The Return to Me, 21 Days to Love Yourself, a Self-Love Journey. But today I am going to read another incredible book, or read some chapters from an incredible book called Mind Power into the 21st Century by John Kehoe. And I would like to read the back of the book to you first. In Mind Power into the 21st Century, John Kehoe has articulated a set of life-changing principles for charting a course to success and happiness. More than that, however, Mind Power into the 21st Century presents a remarkably specific and practical guide. How to harness the powers of your subconscious mind, tap into your creativity, successfully use visualization techniques, improve your self-image, interpret your dreams, heal yourself, develop a prosperity consciousness, and build and maintain fulfilling relationships. Entertaining and informative, Mind Power into the 21st Century is quite simply a must. Read for anyone who wants to live life to its fullest. And I'd just like to read a little bit about the author. John Kehoe is an author, lecturer, and philanthropist. He has been teaching people the astounding powers of the mind for 40 years. He first developed his Mind Power program in 1978, following an extended time alone in the woods of the Pacific Northwest. Since then, he has spoken to hundreds of thousands of people around the globe and served as a Mind Power consultant to numerous corporate giants, including De Beers, Mobil Oil, and Dominion Life. Kehoe's books have become international publishing triumphs, topping bestseller lists around the world. So I hope you're as excited as I am to delve into this book and to hear all about it. In 1975, John Kehoe withdrew into wooded seclusion to spend 3 years in intensive study and contemplation of the inner workings of the human mind. By borrowing freely from a wide variety of scientific and spiritual sources, and by applying his own shrewd observations and insights, Kehoe was able to forge the first straightforward and successful program for developing mind power. In 1978, he began teaching people the principles he had formulated, and by 1980, the phenomenal success of his speaking tours had grown to encompass the globe. Kehoe has spent the last 20 years teaching, and he currently resides with his wife in the Pacific Northwest, from where he continues to write and tour. So I would like to read the foreword to you first of all. I am one of more than 2 million people who have had their lives impacted by this self-help classic. I first read Mind Power into the 21st Century in 1997, and I was immediately impressed by both its simplicity and the profound truths it revealed. I began practicing the techniques outlined in the book and quickly started seeing noticeable changes in my life. One of the many gifts this book gave me was a deep and profound realization that nothing happens by chance, that the quality of my life is brought about by the quality of my thinking. I became an avid student of Mind Power and began observing my thinking, examining my beliefs about money, relationships, and health, and all the other important areas of my life. I was surprised to discover that although I considered myself a positive person, I still held many negative limiting beliefs. It is our beliefs, I discovered, which create our reality, and by practicing the techniques outlined in this book, I created new, empowering beliefs for myself. My life changed, and I found myself in a whole new world, a new reality, in one in which I was the creating force. Before Mind Power, I believed that I would never achieve great success in my life. due to the fact that I came from a disadvantaged background. I barely managed to complete my secondary education, and as a result, I was unable to attend university. I also believed that I would always struggle financially, as most of the people around me did. That was simply the reality of my situation. Now, I find myself in a position that would previously have seemed only a dream. Through an amazing set of circumstances, I met John Kehoe and studied personally with him. It was during this process that we entered into a mentorship, after which he offered me the opportunity to teach his Mind Power course. I have never looked back since. I have the most stimulating, financially rewarding career, traveling the world and sharing this profound message with literally thousands of people every month. I believe I am helping to change the world by assisting people to change their lives. We have at our disposal the most incredible mechanism known to man, our own mind. Most of us, however, have never been shown how to use it. This book can be your instruction manual and will guide you to awaken your own personal power. It will open new avenues and opportunities in all areas of your life. There is magic contained in these words. Read them, and most importantly, practice the principles, and you will be amazed at how many apparent coincidences will begin happening for you. If this book has found itself in your hands, this may well be the beginning of a whole new life. My greatest wish is that it will open up for you an exciting journey into personal power and self-knowledge, as it has for me. For in the truest sense, you are a powerful creative force, and you can indeed make a difference. Robin Banks. So, Chapter 1. Another view of reality. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamed of by mere mortal men. Shakespeare. To work with mind power, you do not have to understand the laws of physics or how reality manifests itself, just as you don't have to understand how a carburetor works or how spark plugs fire in order to drive a car. Few of us understand automotive mechanics, but that doesn't stop us from driving. Likewise, in the science of mind power, anyone can quickly and successfully master the basics and effectively put them to work in his or her life. We begin by examining the nature of reality, especially the startling new discoveries in science over the last 20 years, which have helped us to understand more clearly how the mind creates its own reality. These discoveries explain why creating visualizations in our own minds is not just idle daydreaming, but is a creative process which helps us control and direct the same energies that hold matter together, change water into steam, or cause a seed to sprout and grow. Understanding the nature of these energies assists us in understanding the mind and shows us why inspiration, prayer, and intuition are not supernatural phenomenon at all, but follow patterns and laws which we can discover and use at our will. Like everything else in the known universe, the powers of the mind are governed by laws which, robbed of the scientific jargon and clearly presented, can be easily understood by everyone. Let me take you on a short adventure into these new discoveries. Modern physics now sees the universe as a vast, inseparable web of dynamic activity. Not only is the universe alive and constantly changing, but everything in the universe affects everything else. At its most primary level, the universe seems to be whole and undifferentiated, a fathomless sea of energy that permeates every object and every act. It is all one. In short, scientists are now confirming what mystics, seers, and occultists have been telling us for thousands of years. We are not separate, but part of a giant whole. When a blade of grass is cut, the whole universe quivers. Ancient Upanishad saying. Modern physics has changed our concept of the natural world. Particles are no longer seen as consisting of any basic stuff. Rather, they are seen as bundles of energy. They may make sudden transitions, quantum leaps, behaving at times like units, yet on other occasions like waves of pure energy. Reality is fluid. Nothing is fixed. Everything is part of a pattern that is in constant motion. Even a rock is a dance of energy. The universe is dynamic and alive, and we are in it and of it, dynamic and alive ourselves. The universe is a giant hologram. The theories that enabled the development of the hologram were first formulated in 1947 by Dennis Gabor, who later won a Nobel Peace Prize for his discovery. A hologram is an entity in which the whole is contained in each and every one of its parts. For example, a starfish exhibits certain holographic patterns. If you cut a point from a starfish, it will grow a new point. Not only that, the point will grow a whole new starfish, because the genetic imprint is contained in each and every one of its parts. I was at a holographic exhibition several years ago, in which I saw an exhibit of photographs done with holography. In one of the pictures was the image of a woman standing upright. If I moved to the right of the picture, the woman changed suddenly, and she was now smoking a cigarette. If I moved to the left, the picture changed again, and she had her hip thrown out in a suggestive pose. If one were to drop this holographic plate onto the floor and it shattered into pieces, each piece would reveal not what you would expect to see. A piece of her shoe, or dress, or maybe her eye, but the image of the whole woman. And if one moved any one of the little pieces from side to side, you would still see her smoke that cigarette and throw out her hip. Every single one of the small pieces would have the whole picture contained within it. It now appears that the nature of reality is holographic, and that the brain operates holographically as well. Our thinking process seemed to be identical to the primary state of the universe, and made up of all the same stuff. The brain is a hologram interpreting the holographic universe. The main architects of this astounding idea were two of the world's most eminent thinkers, University of London physicist David Bohm, a protege of Einstein's, and one of the world's most respected quantum physics, and Carl Pribram, a neurophysiologist at Stanford University. Coincidentally, they arrived at their findings independently of each other, while working in totally separate fields of science. Bohm became convinced of the universe's holographic nature after years of frustration with the inability of more standard theories to explain all of the phenomena and results that he was encountering in quantum physics. Pribram, in studying the human brain, also realized the standard theories, explanations, and various neurophysiological puzzles simply didn't add up. For both men, the holographic model suddenly made sense and resolved a lot of unanswered questions. Both published their findings in the early 70s. Their work received enormous response, but unfortunately little of it was understood outside of the scientific community. while they had their detractors and skeptics. What new theory doesn't? Many of the world's most prominent physicists and scientists came on board. Cambridge's Brian Josephson, winner of the 1973 Nobel Prize in Physics, described Brahm and Pribram's discoveries as involving the most revolutionary breakthroughs in the understanding of the nature of reality. Dr. David Peat, a physicist at Queen's University in Canada and author of the book The Bridge Between Matter and Mind, was another to agree. Our thought processes are much more intimately connected to the physical world than any of us would ever suspect. In 1979, at Princeton University, Robert G. Jahn, Dean of the School of Engineering and Applied Science, established a research program to explore the role of consciousness in the establishment of physical reality. After thousands of controlled experiments, Jahn and his associates published their findings, stating that there was now sufficient evidence to indicate unequivocally that the mind can and does directly affect physical reality. By 1994, eminent scientists, educators, and physicians from around the world were meeting at Princeton University to discuss how this startling new information might be extended and applied within their own fields and institutions. All this is truly exciting news, and the implications are nothing less than staggering when one considers how we might use this new knowledge. How consciousness and the physical world interact is now much less of a mystery. Consciousness is but energy in its finest and most dynamic form. This helps explain why events are affected by what we imagine, visualize, desire, want, or fear, and why and how an image held in the mind can be made real. These discoveries about the nature of reality can be a major force for our continued change and growth. If we know and understand that we are part of an open and dynamic universe, and that our minds play a decisive part in constructing reality, then we can choose to live more creatively and powerfully. We no longer stand on the sidelines watching things happen to us, for with our new understanding, we now realize that there are no sidelines to stand on, nor were there ever. Everything is affecting everything else. Wherever we go, whatever we do, our thoughts are creating our reality. Discovering a new theory, Einstein once said, is like climbing a mountain, gaining new and wider views. This is what you are doing by reading this book, and soon your mental climb will be rewarded by an open and exhilarating view of your true potential. Chapter 2. Consciousness. So think as if your every thought were to be etched in fire upon the sky for all and everything to see. For so, in truth, it is. Book of Mirdad. If you think of your thoughts as a reality existing side by side with what we call the physical reality, you will be closer to understanding the unique relationship between the two. You are living simultaneously in two worlds, two realities. The inner reality of your thoughts, emotions, and attitude, and the outer reality of people, places, things, and events. Because we fail to separate these inner and outer worlds, we allow ourselves to become dominated by the outer world of appearances, and we use the inner world solely as a mirror for whatever happens to us. Our inner world reacts constantly, and because we spend all of our time simply reacting, we never experience our power. Ironically, you can begin to change your reality. The day, the hour, the minute you cease constantly reacting to it. Your inner consciousness is a powerful force whose influence is felt in every aspect of your life. It is, in fact, the major and most important part of who you are, and it is the main cause of your success or failure. Everything at its purest and deepest essence is energy, and whatever you think you are working with, an immense amount of this energy in the quick, light, mobile form of thought. Thought is forever attempting to find form, is always looking for an outlet, is always trying to manifest itself. It is the nature of thought to try and materialize into its physical equivalent. Our normal thoughts can be compared to sparks from a fire. Though they contain the essence and potential power of the flame, they normally dissipate quickly. They last only a few seconds, fly into the air, and quickly burn out. Although a single unaided thought hasn't much power, through repetition the thought can become concentrated and directed, and its force can be magnified many times. The more the thought is repeated, the more energy and power it generates, and the more readily it is able to manifest itself. Weak and scattered thoughts are weak and scattered forces. Strong and concentrated thoughts are strong and concentrated forces. To illustrate this, picture a magnifying glass through which the sun's rays pass. If the magnifying glass is moved about from spot to spot, the power of the sun's rays is diffused and not apparent. If, however, the magnifying glass is held still and focused correctly at the proper height, those same rays become concentrated, and that diffused light suddenly becomes a powerful force, strong enough to ignite a fire. So, it is with our thoughts. As you progress in your study of mind power, you will learn to develop and concentrate your thoughts so that they become much more powerful. At this point, just realize that your thoughts have power in themselves. Your deeply held beliefs, your fears, your hopes, your worries, your attitude, your desires, and each and every thought you think all have an effect on you, others, and your environment. Most of us go through our waking hours, taking little notice of our thought processes, how the mind moves, what it fears, what it heeds, what it says to itself, what it brushes aside. For the most part, we eat, work, converse, worry, hope, plan, make love, shop, play, all with minimal attention paid to how we think. We might be far more willing to learn how to use our mental mechanisms if we imagine for a moment that for every thought we either gained $1 or lost $1, depending on the type of thought. Considering we think thousands of thoughts every day, this is quite a proposition. Imagine an accounting system noting our every thought and recording which ones gained us money and which ones lost us money. How diligent would we be in controlling and directing our thoughts? How enthusiastically we would create those thoughts which made us money, and how carefully we would avoid those which lost us money. This is in fact more or less what is already happening inside you, though with energy, not dollars. There is a big accounting system going on. It's called the universe, and no thought produced there is without its effect. This world of ours is no dead pile of brick and stone. It is a living, vibrant system of energy. Every thought you think impresses itself upon this system, and its effect is indisputable. Whether you like it or not, you are forever creating your reality through what you are thinking. The beginning step to a new and more successful life is absurdly easy. You only have to pay attention to the flow of thoughts inside your mind and direct it accordingly. Your life is entirely of your own making, so look at the way you are living. You claim you want financial abundance, yet you are constantly bemoaning your lack of money and how expensive things are. You dwell on what you don't have and the bills coming in. You worry and wonder how you will get along. You may want financial abundance, but because your consciousness is of lack and worry, you will never experience that abundance. Or maybe you wish you could find a new job, something interesting and challenging that would use your creativity and pay you well. If you constantly tell yourself these jobs are impossible to find, that it will never happen, it is very unlikely that it will happen. Perhaps you wish you could be a more outgoing individual, bold and spontaneous, full of assurance and confidence. Yet, if you constantly focus on your inferiorities and inadequacies and put yourself down, reminding yourself again and again of your problems, you're not likely to become that type of person. You may want strength, but if your consciousness is of weakness, you are fooling yourself to think that you will ever possess that strength. In short, wanting something badly will not make it happen. Hoping for something different will have no effect. Simply working hard, even if it's 12 to 15 hours a day, is not enough. You will always remain where you are unless, and it's a big unless, you change your thinking. To them that hath, more shall be given. To them that hath not, even what they have, little will be taken away. Luke 19:26. When I first read this quote, I didn't think it was fair. It didn't seem fair that them that had would get more, and them that had not would lose what little they had. It just didn't seem right. I thought it would be more just if them that had not were given more, but that is not what the scripture says. This, according to the Bible, is not the way the universe works. But then, upon reflection, I realized that it was indeed fair. In fact, what could be more fair than every person's freedom to choose for himself or herself thoughts which will in turn create their reality? There is great fairness in the complete freedom to determine the quality of one's life. Want to change your circumstances? Develop the necessary consciousness. A successful person has success consciousness. A wealthy person has developed a prosperity consciousness, and his thoughts are on abundance, success, and prosperity. This is how he thinks. Easy for him, you say? When you're successful, it's easy to think success. And when you're wealthy, it's easy to think prosperity. But my situation is totally different. I'm not successful. I'm not wealthy. The situations and circumstances of my life keep me down. Wrong. Dead wrong. Your circumstances and situations never keep you down. The only things that keep you down and keep you stuck are your thoughts. With work and practice, you can learn to direct your thoughts. With work and practice, you can learn to direct your thoughts and create any consciousness you choose. Your reality will change only after you've developed your new consciousness, not before. The new consciousness must come first. What is it that you want in your life? Do you know? More health? Then get health consciousness. More power? Then get power consciousness. More prosperity? Get prosperity consciousness. More happiness? Get happiness consciousness. More spirituality? Get spiritual consciousness. Everything exists as a possibility. All that is required for you to feed in the necessary energy until your objective becomes yours. How reassuring is it to think that no matter what a person's past or present situation, no matter how many times he or she has previously failed, if that person would but regularly feed his or her consciousness, his or her situation would change. This remarkable ability has been given to each and every one of us to use or ignore. It costs no money. It takes no special talent. It takes only the decision on your part to take the time and put forth the necessary effort to develop the appropriate consciousness. That's all. Everything else will automatically fall into place. Your mind is like a garden, which can be cultivated or neglected, and you are its master gardener. You can cultivate this garden, or you can ignore it, and let it develop whatever way it will. But make no mistake, you will reap the harvest of your work or your neglect. Your mind creates your reality. You can choose to accept this or not. You can be conscious of it and set your mind working for you, or you can ignore it and allow it to work in ways that will hinder and hold you back. But your mind will always and forever be creating your reality. Chapter 3. Visualization. There is no thought in my mind, but it quickly tends to convert itself into a power and organizes a huge instrumentally of means. Ralph Waldo Emerson. What is it that makes a person a winner? What distinguishes those who succeed from those who fail? It's all in the mind, says Arnold Schwarzenegger, a multimillionaire, successful real estate tycoon, movie star, bodybuilder, 5-time winner of the Mr. Universe title. Arnold has made it. But it wasn't always so. Arnold can remember back when he had nothing except a belief that his mind was the key to getting to where he wanted to go. When I was very young, I visualized myself being and having what it is I wanted. Mentally, I never had any doubts about it. The mind is really so incredible. Before I won my first Mr. Universe, I walked around the tournament like I owned it. The title was already mine. I had won it so many times in my mind that there was no doubt that I would win it. Then, when I moved on to movies, the same thing. I visualized myself being a successful actor and earning big money. I could feel taste and success. I could feel and taste success. I just knew it would all happen. Chris Polian was a member of the world-renowned West German freestyle ski team that won the European Cup 6 times between 1976 and 1982. Part of our program involved working with a psychologist to increase the powers of our minds. After training on the slopes, we were placed in a state of meditation and encouraged to totally repeat the slope runs in our minds, visualizing each bump and movement of the routine. We worked as hard training mentally as we did physically. Excellence in athletics, or indeed any endeavour, depends primarily on having a clear mental picture of that activity. Chris should know she not only has her 6 medals, but she now has her own successful consulting firm working with business and sports groups to show them how they too can benefit from the same techniques. Brian Edwards, a man of infectious good humour and high spirits, sells life insurance. I met him on one of my tours, and he has become a good friend. Each evening, before he goes to bed, he spends 10 minutes running over in his mind his next day's calls. He pictures himself making his presentation to each client. He sees them being receptive and gladly taking out a policy with him. He imagines a very productive day with lots of sales. He does this for 10 minutes before he goes to bed and 10 minutes upon rising in the morning, a total of 20 minutes each day. Edwards sells more insurance in 1 week than most people sell in 6 months, and it's consistently in the top 1% of his profession every year. 3 totally different people with totally different goals and objectives in life. Yet, all are using the same technique to create and influence their reality. The technique of visualization. Visualization is using your imagination to see yourself in a situation that hasn't yet happened. Picturing yourself in a situation or doing the thing you want and successfully achieving the results you desire. For example, let's say you want to be more confident. Using visualization, you picture yourself as confident. You see yourself doing things, talking to people, all with great confidence. You picture yourself in situations that normally give you difficulty, and you see yourself in these situations at ease, confident and performing well. You might picture your friends and associates complimenting you, congratulating you on your newfound confidence. You feel the pride and satisfaction of both being a confident person and enjoying the things that happen to you as a result of your confidence. You visualize everything that would or could happen to you and live as if it really is happening to you. Here's how to go about a successful visualization. Number 1, decide what you want to do. Pass an exam, gain a promotion, meet someone new, make lots of money, be more confident, win the squash game. Number 2, relax. Spend several minutes unwinding so that you are comfortable in body and mind. 3, spend 5 to 10 minutes visualizing the reality you want. Linger on thoughts of doing and having the thing you want, not as some future reality that might or would happen. Live in your mind as if it's happening to you right now. Create little inner film clips or videos. See yourself doing the thing you want. On one level, you know it's not yet happening to you. It's not yet real. It's still just a visualization, a mental picture. But the mental pictures we indulge in, the ones we regularly think about, become a blueprint for our goals, a mold into which we pour our energy. These pictures are real forces that will work for us. Build whatever characteristics are necessary in your visualization. If talent, courage, determination, or persistence are vital parts of the picture, include them. Sometimes you will see clear, sharp images as if you are watching yourself featured in a movie, accomplishing your goal. Other times, you just sort of think about your goals in a general way. This is all fine. You can alternate between precise and free-flowing visualization, doing a few minutes of each, or concentrate on whatever technique feels most comfortable. Precise general visualization. Generate the exact pictures and scenes you want in your mind. Follow the preset script you have created and run it through your mind a number of times. Free-flowing visualization. Allow images and thoughts to come and go without choosing them, as long as they show a positive outcome of your goal. Practice both methods, and remember, the key here is practice. Most people find that they have difficulty in the beginning stages of visualization. Their minds won't cooperate and picture the desired scenes. Don't worry if this happens. The picture does not have to be complete and perfect. If you commit yourself to a program of regular visualization, you will be surprised at how your mind will gradually begin to think the thoughts and scenes you choose for it. I should mention at this point that visualizing something once or twice is of little effect. Results come when the image is imprinted again and again and again for a period of weeks or months, or until your goal has been achieved. Don't try to measure success after only 1 or 2 attempts. If doubts or contradictory thoughts arise, and occasionally they will, ignore them. Don't try to resist them or fight them. Simply let those thoughts come and go in your consciousness without much notice. Just keep repeating your visualization and everything will naturally look after itself. 2 conditions for a successful visualization. Number 1, always visualize your goal as if it's happening to you right now. Make it real in your mind. Make it detailed. Enter the role and become it in your mind. Number 2, visualize your goal at least once a day, each and every day. There is power in repetition. Any thought put into your mind and nourished regularly will produce results in your life. Let me share with you a now famous and well-documented experiment conducted by psychologist Alan Richardson. A group of student basketball players was divided into 3 groups, tested for their ability to score baskets, and each group's results were recorded. The first group was then directed to come into the gym every day for a month to practice shooting. The second group was instructed to engage in no practice at all. And the third group was instructed to engage in a very different sort of practice. They didn't step foot in the gym, but instead stayed in their dorms, mentally imagining themselves there practicing. For half an hour each day, they saw themselves shooting and scoring and improving dramatically. They continued this inner practice every day. After a month, the 3 groups were tested again. The first group, those who practiced shooting every day, showed a 24% improvement in their scores. The second group, those who did no practice, showed no improvement. And the third group, who remember had practiced only in their minds, improved equally as much as the group that had practiced for real. Such creative visualization is powerful, but it's far from magic. It involves working with natural laws and energies and being creative in directing your own innate power. Properly directed, your imagination is one of the most dynamic faculties that you possess. Begin using this technique right away. You don't need to concern yourself with the specifics of how things will unfold. Trust the process. Supply follows demand, and you will be led to do the right thing at the right time. You can be sure that the ways and means will make themselves known to you, for nature always creates the opportunities needed to fulfill the demands put upon her. It's natural to want all the answers before we're willing to risk any legwork. We'd all love to see the steps and know the details of everything that will happen to us. But you rarely get to see those details and steps at the beginning. And very often, things unfold in the most unexpected ways. Actress Carol Burnett was born in Los Angeles and raised by her grandmother. They scraped by on welfare and were so poor that her mother collected toilet paper from public washrooms. There certainly was not enough money to send the talented youngster to UCLA, which was Carol's dream. She, however, knew one day she was going to attend the university. I never thought about the possibility of not going. I would imagine myself taking the classes, being on the campus, learning everything I wanted to learn. Every day I would think about it. Even though there didn't seem to be any way I could go, I knew I would. So how did she get the money? One day in my final year of high school, I went to the mailbox to check the mail. There was an envelope made out to me. It had a stamp on it, but it wasn't postmarked. It hadn't been mailed. It had been hand-delivered by someone. I opened the envelope, and in it was the exact amount of my first year's tuition. No note, no explanation, just the money. I still, to this day, don't know who sent it. Opportunities open up when you open up your thoughts. Now, I am not saying that if you visualize it, someone will come up with an envelope and give you the exact money you want, the way that it happened for Carol Burnett. But I do promise you that situations and opportunities will come your way that will lead you to your goal. You can count on it. Your thoughts are more powerful than you suspect. And any image held in the mind is a force that will eventually produce an effect. It is not futuristic science fiction that we possess this ability. It already exists within us as a practical tool which we can use anytime we choose. So that is it for today. First 3 chapters of Mind Power by John Kehoe into the 21st century. I hope that you have enjoyed it so far. I will be back next Saturday with some more chapters at 3 p.m. GMT. And thank you so much to all of you for joining me. Hello, Charlene, if you're still here. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. And I hope, like I said, that you enjoyed that. And as you can see, we do create our own reality in every second of every moment of every day. The mind is clearly a powerful, powerful tool. It is one of the most powerful faculties that we possess if we can learn to use it in the correct way. Changing your mind is changing your life. Learning to use the power of your mind is, incredible. And we can do so much when we know how to utilize this amazing free tool that we have been given and possess. You're welcome. You're welcome, Leah. You're welcome, Brenda. Awesome sauce, Joanne. Thank you, Dawn. So that is where I'm going to leave it today. And next week we will be delving into chapter 4, maybe 5 and 6. And I hope that you will be able to join me then for Watering the Soul with Ali, and sending you much love as always for a wonderful, quiet, peaceful, happy weekend. Much love always, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Namaste and good afternoon from Ireland. See you later, Joelle. Bye-bye, everyone.